The original Lynton and Barnstaple Railway was a narrow gauge line in the English county of Devon, running for around 31 kilometres through the picturesque Exmoor region from Barnstaple Town to Lynton. It opened in 1898 and closed in 1935, much earlier than other narrow gauge lines in the UK. For more information on the original line's history, I recommend reading the article, to which I've included a link in the description. In 1979, the Lynton and Barnstaple Railway Society was formed to reconstruct the line and run trains on it once again. Their first public services ran in 2004, with the rebuilt line being extended in 2006, and it now runs for 1 mile from Woody Bay to Killington Lane. As far as I can tell, plans are still afoot to extend the line further to Parracombe and Wistland Pound. I visited the railway on Sunday the 4th of May 2025, near the end of my UK trip. I saw that the normal adult ticket costs £10, but you can pay an extra £3.50 to get the first class upgrade. I should also mention that the first class upgrade is only valid on one trip, but the normal ticket is valid for the entire day of your visit. Incidentally, this was the only time I sat in first class on any train in the UK, regardless of track gauge. As for the timetable, the first departure from Woody Bay is at 10:45, then the service runs every 45 minutes until the last departure at 4 p.m. To my initial disappointment, the locomotive in steam on the day of my visit was Bagnall 440 tank engine number 2819 Sir George Nunez. My reaction on the day was similar to what I initially thought of seeing the new Standard 18 saddle tank at the Lakeside and Heatherthwaite Railway. I bring that up because, in a bizarre coincidence, both 2296 Victor and 2819 Sir George Nunez were A. built by W.G. Bagnall of Stafford, B. painted maroon, and C. not the locomotives that I wanted to see running on their respective lines. Although I would have preferred to see the new build replica of 762 Lynn in action at the L&BR, I'm not trying to deny that Sir George is still interesting in his own right, despite the fact that I had never even heard of this locomotive before arriving at Woody Bay Station. 2819 was built in 1946 for the Tongaat Sugar Company of South Africa, but didn't have a particularly long service life as, by 1963, he had been downgraded to a stationary boiler. He was eventually preserved and brought back to the UK in the 1990s, but didn't arrive at Woody Bay until 2014. Following an overhaul that involved the construction of a brand new boiler, he re-entered service in August 2024, and as for where the name comes from, The real Sir George Nunez was a famous publisher who supported the construction of the original Lynton and Barnstaple Railway. It wasn't long before 10:45 AM rolled around, and 2819 got underway for his first trip of the day. A one-way journey from Woody Bay to Killington Lane takes around 10 minutes to complete, and if you ever travel on this line yourself, I recommend looking out the right-hand side in the direction of travel towards Killington Lane for a very nice view. Upon arrival at Killington Lane, I noticed this large sign on the station shelter. Pause the video if you want to read what's on the sign. Meanwhile, the locomotive was uncoupled and run around the train for the return trip to Woody Bay. During the layover at Killington Lane, some of the passengers came up to have a look at Sir George Nunez up close, but it wasn't long before we all had to get back on board of the train for the return journey. When we got back to Woody Bay, I noticed a decent amount of people waiting for the next service, but Sir George had to take on more coal before the next departure at 11:30. In closing, I was happy with the overall experience on the resurrected Lynton and Barnstaple Railway. The restored line may be very short, but it's better than nothing, and at least you can still get good views of the moorland and coastline. I am reminded of the fact that the society is mostly run by volunteers, and I wish them the best of luck in their efforts to reconstruct more of the legendary Lynton and Barnstaple Railway. I'll leave you with the footage of 2819 Sir George Nunez coupling up to his train and leaving for his next run to Killington Lane.
Are we going to see that signal you wanted to see?
Yeah.